Yeah. Please tell me that I can't, that I won't, that I fail, that I'll never make it out, yeah. Please tell me all the bad, never good, fill my head full of every single doubt, yeah. Please say any negative thoughts, I pop off when I hear people say I cannot. I get off to the thought of proving everyone wrong, I won't stop to the top, so you better back off and get lost. I'ma stay loud, stay proud, never running out, never heading south. I'll be spreading out, call it word of mouth, can't put me down, I'll be getting loud. You can have your doubts, not what I'm about, have your fucking cloud, it be raining now, I keep making sound, go another round, bitch I'm legend bound, can't stop me now. You don't wanna fuck with me, a slow burn like a disease. Just tell me that I can and I'll show you things that you couldn't believe. Just tell me that I can. 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 Anything negative, cause I just wanna hear it out your mouth, yeah. Give me fuel, it's a tool that I use to go ahead and run my fucking mouth, yeah. I take shots, I take loss, I make shots, I miss lots. That's how you get big box, you get yachts, you swing lots and pop off a big shot. I ain't done chasing, got big dreams, bigger things, impatient. Who's at the top think they need replacement? Who's at the top think I'm gonna erase it, face it. I don't give up quick, I don't give up shit, I won't give up this. Cause I know that I want it, know that I'm on it, I'll make it, I promise. You don't wanna fuck with me, a slow burn like a disease. Just tell me that I can and show you things that you couldn't believe. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can.
Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Late Show with Truth and Bass. What's up, Bass? How are you? Yo, can you hear that? So, StreamYard's up their game a little bit, and you can play like background music and shit now. It's pretty sick. You can upload your own background music and shit. Yeah. Plus, I'm testing out a new camera right here, new camera angle. What do you guys think? You can see a little bit more of my room now. You can see the sign for my little studio here. All right. How you guys doing this evening?
Well, shit, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you perfectly fine.
Am I echoing? Because I don't see my thing moving.
Yeah, dude, I hear you.
Freaking got this $100 mic, might as well put it to use, right?
Oh, you're finally using your mic.
Yeah, I'm still sketchy about it though.
Why is that? Why are you talking so damn low?
Huh?
Why are you talking so low?
I'm not that close. How's that?
You have a boom extension, right? Use a boom extension.
Yeah, whatever.
So what's going on, everybody in chat? Ralph, Diane, Sue, Chris, G&A. Lorna, Charlie, what's going on? Who else we got going in this? So yeah, dude, I'm trying to nail my friend down for this interview. I'm gonna get him. I know it's a skinwalker. So, what do we got going on here?
Nah, Chris, I showed my face the other night.
Yeah, he did. He don't like showing his face, even though he looks just like me.
Exactly.
All right, so yeah, welcome to the Late Show with Truth and Bass, where we're just going to talk about the most random shit possible. If you guys want to, oh, matter of fact, wait a second. There we go. But welcome all. What's the topic? Anything we want to talk about. Like I said, the show's called An Impromptu Truth. So if you got something to tell, speak your truth. Oh, I found my $200 glasses, by the way, that I've been missing for like 2 damn weeks.
Like I said before, I think we should talk about what is the mindset of conspiracy theorists.
I like that. A conspiracy theorist. Okay. So I showed you earlier the the quote unquote definition of a conspiracy theorist, right? Let me just bring it up here for our loyal listeners here. Oh, I so like the fact that you can add like background music to this thing now. It's so cool. How come you started letting people do stuff with their string yards? Okay. Okay.
Freaking moving, I gotta tighten up some stuff.
What happened?
I said moving, I gotta tighten up some stuff.
Oh yeah,
Screws
because
went loose.
oh, in your boom extension.
Yeah.
Oh. Did you guys Primal and Dark? Did you guys make a joint account?
Yeah, I just see that.
That just threw me off. All right, so the definition of a conspiracy theorist: someone who postulates on an idea that many important geopolitical events or economic or societal trends are the products of secret plots that are generally unknown to the public at large. So I would generally say that everybody that is listening to me right now is probably considered a conspiracy theorist, because you don't take the story as it is. Like, you know what I mean? You don't drink that government Kool-Aid. And pretty much like, so like there's no people believe that the government is actually batting 1,000. Like, you don't believe in any kind of conspiracy. Like, you tell that shit to people too. You don't believe in any kind of conspiracies. You just think the government's telling you the truth about every little thing. Nah. So I guess I've been considered a conspiracy theorist since we were little kids. Then started early. What do you think?
Oh, absolutely. I remember.
What's up, Keeper?
What's up? What's up?
What's going on? Well, putting our friend
Chillen.
Dan into the conspiracy world. I remember one time we first, like, when webcams first got big, he came over one day, and I had a piece of duct tape over my webcam. He's like, "What the hell you do that for?" I'm like, "Bro, you do know that this is a camera, that they can backdoor this." And this was back in like 2005, 2006, way before Edward Snowden.
Yep. Rothian.
Yeah,
What's
they
going
can,
on, Roth?
Hello. If they want.
Yeah. Just let me see. Change the layout. Yeah, that's a good layout. Fuck it.
Well, what did y'all think about the show from last night?
I think it's about damn time there's an all women's panel. It's been a long time. Like,
Well, I know some people probably didn't like what I had to say or none of that stuff, but
listen, you could say hello to somebody and ruffle some people's feathers, so it doesn't really matter. I really don't worry about what other people think. If you enjoyed the show, or ladies enjoyed the show, everybody that listened enjoyed it. Fuck whoever didn't like it.
well, it's mighty funny that time capsule ain't been mentioned no more, ain't it?
All right, can you guys hear me now?
Yeah.
So, can I get a rendition here on the Georgia Guidestones? I've been off all day, so I've been got a chance to actually look at some shit. There's a lot of like I said, a lot of postulation. I like that word. I'm gonna start using it. A lot of postulation that the the Guidestones was actually hit by a bolt of lightning.
Mm-mm,
No,
mm-mm. Lightning wouldn't have done that.
no, because it's just something. I just find it's the whole situation is really weird to me. Only because, like, I can understand somebody like bombing or somebody fucking setting off an explosive there. My thing is, you did not give enough time to do a thorough investigation before you started bulldozing those things.
I wonder why.
You know what I
That
mean?
and the other thing is you don't destroy evidence. That was an active crime scene. That should have been took down a different way than you come in with a piece of equipment. They didn't have to tear it down like they did
Nope.
because it was put up there with equipment. They could have took a chain and a crane, set each piece down, wrapped it because evidence now is gone.
Mm-hmm. That whole scene was like, no, they're covering something up. They don't want somebody to know something. There's no way in hell they're just gonna like they put more thought into like an investigation of somebody stealing copper.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? You know, uh, knock down a, a monument that's been there for damn near 40 years. Like, I
That was
that
a that was a shape charge. Whoever did that knew what they were doing because it was directed inward. It was they did it right, but they didn't do it quite right because what they were trying to do was topple the whole damn thing. All they did was topple one pillar and uh, tear up another one in the capstone.
see now. I wonder if there was any significance about this. They were just trying to take it all down, or do you think there was any significance to the specific stone that was destroyed? Because
It was
they weren't all destroyed.
no, it was the English speaking stone. How many people you know around here can speak uh, the different languages that was on it? They took out the English stone.
I'll tell you what, I think I'm not inciting anything. I think a lot more of that type of shit is going to start happening because a lot more information is coming out about certain things that's been going on for the last 2 years.
I thought it was hilarious. The reason why I wanted to do a show on it because when I told Christina about it, and she thought the same way a lot of other people did that it was bad. And then I explained it to her, and she's like, "Oh, well, then you go look it up. You see all kind of stuff. They were supposed to have been satanic. They were supposed to have been none of it. How the hell can you read the whole stone and get satanic out of it?"
I have seen almost pretty much for years that there has been like a satanic panic going on in a lot of very conservative like Christian groups where they're trying to say that everything that isn't explicitly Bible thumping is somehow satanic.
Everything they try to tie everything to some kind of religion or something. Everything has not got anything to do with religion. Some stuff has nothing to do with it.
I wonder what kind of fanatical
Let's,
group they're going to blame in the next few days.
look, just think about it. All right, we don't know who they've got a picture of the guy's car that drove away whenever he did this. So let's say that this guy right here was an atheist. Let's say this guy was part of the Scientology or something like that. Those people don't even believe in any religion. So how do you put religion in it?
Just the whole situation is really weird to me.
It's just somebody else caused problems because those stones have been up so long. If they were actually somebody going to do something with those stones, they'd have done it 20 years ago. Like I said, those stones have been up for what, 40 years?
They were put up there in 1980, so 42
Yep.
years.
Yeah. So they were just a monument. Most people didn't even know they fucking existed.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
brought
had.
that.
Oh, go
I
ahead,
brought that
boss.
up to a few people yesterday, like, yo, you guys ever hear the Georgia Guidestones? Like, what the hell is that? I'm like, never mind. I'm talking to the wrong person. Just walked off.
I hadn't forgot about you, Sean. I just hadn't. I've been kind of busy today, and I hadn't had time to call anybody or do anything.
Sean's show last night was really good too.
Yeah, and I hope I didn't drop on top of you. I wasn't trying. I didn't even realize what day of the freaking week it was.
Oh, me neither, dude. I put like the wrong day. I put the wrong day in the time card clock and shit today. I was like, yo, why am I missing a day? It's not Wednesday. It's Thursday. Yeah.
I will simply say I was worried that I was living another double day. I've had done that before, and I don't want to do it again.
Well, like I said, I apologize for that. Like I said, that's something I don't like to do because everybody that listens to Sean listens to me, listens to you, and there's no reason to split viewers up. And like I said, I forgot I lost what day it was. Sometimes I do that.
All right.
Yeah.
Question: am I echoing?
No, right now, no.
No, you're fine.
Yeah, one of the things I was wanting to know is if Truth Bass, you wanted to talk about CERN, what happened recently with them.
You know, I dove into that a little bit, and it's crazy how far out some of these I admit I'm a conspiracy theorist, but damn it just happened. It had just happened a few hours ago, and people were already like, "Oh, it thrust us into a new dimension." Blah, blah. Give it a little time. Let's see how many Mandela effects add up. You know what I mean? Because let me see.
Well, it wasn't just that. The same day they did that, and we already knew it was going to hit, so you can't say CERN did it, was the damn giant fucking solar flare we had. They knew the solar flare was coming. I want to know if they timed it, though, at the same time the solar flare.
See, I've been thinking that.
Just to produce more energy.
Oh, that's not, or look at it like this. Because a solar flare with that magnitude, I don't see how it didn't knock out some more stuff than it did. All it did was really mess with the cell phone towers and stuff like that. What if those idiots that fired that up, what if they actually helped and they didn't know it? What if firing that up put out some kind of a shield against that radiation?
Let's see here.
I'm not saying they would have done it. I don't think they would have done it not knowingly. I think maybe they thought, hey, let's see what happens when we do it. And that's one of the things that happened was it acted like a shield.
So basically, unintentionally, they put a force field around the planet using that.
Yeah, but well, think about it. When the solar flare was erupting, that where CERN was actually pointed towards where the most part of the damn solar flare was going to hit. So that right there either absorbed it or deflected it. Like I said, I'm not saying what they did was intentional. I'm not saying firing it up was a good idea. I think they ought to dismantle the damn thing and leave the shit alone.
Yeah, a lot of what CERN has been doing has been more or less flaring up a bunch of energy, but not directing it at anything or for anything. They've just been trying to. It's like turning on a floodlight to find a flashlight that's already been turned on.
Mm-hmm. Well, like I said, what if whatever they were trying, what if indirectly that actually helped and it didn't? Those solar flares didn't have as much impact as because it was supposed to be the third largest ever recorded to hit the Earth. Because they were predicting freaking damn electrical systems to go down. They were predicting cell phone services to go out, all kind of stuff.
Yeah, a lot of people in my area lost cable for a few hours, cable and internet.
Yeah, because like I said, just think though, it did CERN help or I don't see how it hurt anything because I don't really see any effects. Now, the last time they turned CERN on, and I think it was on at halfway, it showed up a bunch of stupid shit.
This time, like that dark black cloud that appeared in the middle of it.
What time did the solar flare happen? And then what time Did they?
I'm not exactly sure. I think they happened right about they timed it right around the same time. Yeah, I ain't 100% sure of that.
I also do remember saying that there were some parties from my buddies who were wanting to make sure that nothing screwy happened with CERN as well.
I'm just saying. I came across this video. It's on. Oh shit! I can share it. Let me see. It's somebody's been doing a little diving, and like, you know how you get up way up in your fucking monitor and start looking at the little stuff in the background stuff. Well, somebody found in the live stream interviews that they were doing with these CERN individuals, they found some weird stuff off with the dates and the times on the monitors and the clocks in the thing.
Well,
So
what they said was a live feed didn't necessarily have to be a live feed.
oh no, well, one of these screens, this shit said April 25th, 2022. Beam 1, beam 2. And another one, this shit says 5, it says 7. Like, you know how in other countries they'll do the day first, then the month, then the year?
Some super glue. No, I have no super glue. Any type of glue.
Hold on.
Get some Gorilla Glue. Fuck,
I'll be back, y'all.
Yep. Let me try to send this to myself. Trust me, Gorilla Glue works. I use that shit all the time. Like Frank's Red Hot. I put that shit on everything. This is not a paid sponsorship. I mean, if if Gorilla Glue want to throw me a little bit of, a little kickback, I got a tube back here, some glue I can show you guys.
See, I don't know if everybody was able to hear me when I was talking earlier, but back in like 2000, why did my damn volume just jump up? All right, back in like 2006, one of my friends came over. This was like when webcams and webcam chatting really first became big. And I had a piece of black duct tape over my webcam. He walked in, he was like, "What the hell is that?" I'm like, "Dude, this is a camera hooked to the internet. They could backdoor this and record everything you're doing and monitor you."
Ooh.
And he thought I was crazy. Then what happens? Edward Snowden comes out and says, yes, they are spying on you through your webcams. And you got people who have these ring security systems all throughout their house and stuff like that. People are backdooring those shits, watching people. Shit's crazy.
So, Typhon said the flare kicked off about a month ago and it was supposed to hit Earth July 5th. See, I don't believe in coincidences. I think I've been thinking that was lined up with the
All right. Yeah,
that was playing part. What?
My question is with that, when did they decide to go full power with the CERN?
I think
was this posted previously somewhere before this whole solar flare thing happened, or like did they post this months ago saying that they're going to go live July 5th?
My tinfoil hat theory is possibly sometime in the past, one of their other off-site hadron colliders, a much smaller one, they went and turned up full blast, and they're wanting to know what a bigger thing would do if they turned it up full blast.
See, playing God, gonna fuck around and get us all sent to an alternate universe. So, all right, so I'm gonna share this video. Take it with a grain of salt. Take it how you want. I'm gonna share it, so listen to it. Share screen. Hey Roth, I saw mentioned on a couple of the streams in the comments. Are you able to review the dark side of the moon?
I am, and I will simply say, if you guys have seen any of those photos about a big spherical thing that seems to be hiding amongst the moon, that's the same thing that a lot of people have been viewing.
So, listen, we all know the moon's hollow. And, all right, so I got this shit up here. This is Where's my thing at? I came across this on TikTok. I mean, I found it pretty interesting. So I'm gonna pause the background music here. Right.
If you want good stuff on TikTok, you got to deep dive for that shit.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. Can you hear it?
We're going to move fast. This is a post-collision interview. I'm using this one as a point of reference. It came at the end. It's the only accurate depiction of when we were told this event was going to happen. The date and time are listed above me. Many of you are going to say that says May 7th. Other countries write day, month, year. 5th day, 7th month, 2022. 1519 checks out. 10 a.m. East Coast time, 5 hours ahead. Still doesn't match that first video though. Everything else I show you came prior to that interview. This now says month, day, year, but it says 1617. We were also shown a computer screen where we could see all the activity going on in the reactor prior to the collision. Now it is showing day, month, year, 1642. In this interview, well before the collision was supposed to happen, see that clock on the wall? Looks like 1615. So multiple times, multiple dates, ways of writing the date. Mind you, everything I've shown you is from CERN. They're live that they broadcast. This isn't me splicing together multiple sources across the internet. So they either time traveled right in front of us or they lied. Or both. Flip a coin, I'll believe whatever it lands on.
Kind of weird. Then, like I said, I'm not passing judgment on this until I see how many more Mandela effects have happened. Because I'm telling you, if when they did that one experiment, right, where what the hell was it that got in there and chewed everything up?
It was a squirrel.
Was it a
No,
squirrel?
it wasn't a squirrel. It was something a little bigger. It was like a raccoon or woodchuck or some
Some
shit.
kind of rodent, right? Like me and Red were chatting back and forth about this. I said it was like this, right? So say this is all an experiment, right? You're a guy, you're whoever sitting there watching this experiment, and the experiment takes a turn and gets itself destroyed because they started fucking around with stuff they shouldn't be. Now you're in a panic to bring this thing back before your superiors find out, right? So what are you gonna do? You're gonna try to fit it back together the way it was, but it's not gonna be the way it was. You know what I mean? Because me, when I take stuff apart and put it together, I always have extra pieces left over. I leave something out. What if when they did it the first time, it ended us in milliseconds, right? And then they redid the shit. They revamped it, but with these differences because they couldn't get it right. They couldn't get it just right like before. You know what I mean? So that's where you get the Sinbad was in Shazam, and the Nelson Mandela dying, and the Coca-Cola thing, and Febreze having two E's instead of one E. Like trying to get it back to the way it was, but it's just not perfect. Oh, far out there idea. What do you think?
Uh, Even I don't really have an answer for that one. I don't really know.
see, see, everybody, I just stumped the remote viewer. How often can that shit happen? But yeah, I think the whole shit is crazy. All right, let me hold up. Let me get off of this. What am I doing? Let's get off that screen. All right, bring back chat back up. Oh, what's up, Blues? How you doing, man? Let's see you in here.
All right, so back to the mindset of a conspiracy theorist.
Okay. Yeah. What?
Now, me personally, I always say, if you don't think outside the box, you're destined to live in one. I mean, no. And this term conspiracy theorist, this is a broad term. It could be anything. Like anything falls underneath that umbrella that could be considered a conspiracy. MK Ultra, the Federal Reserve, aliens, UFOs, underground bases, cryptids, some
Government
paranormal stuff,
government government money laundering,
government money laundering,
section
government
hits.
government quote unquote bringing in drugs and whatnot.
Like, okay, okay. So, you know what? I'm gonna do this. Give me a 1 in chat if you believe it. Give me a 2 in chat if you don't. Do you believe 9/11 was 9? No. Do you believe 9/11 was known about prior to prior to it happening? See, I got one. Doo-doo-doo. See, I got ones popping up in chat.
All right, I got called away for a tiny bit. What was it?
No, I said I asked everybody in chat to put a 1 or 2 in chat if they thought 9/11 was already known about before it happened. And I'm getting a bunch of ones here. Bunch of ones. See, that makes you guys, the fact that you can take the conspiracy theorists like us, you can take this story of 2 planes hitting the towers and look at the evidence that's been provided to us, and you can, with the way our minds work, we can see through that bullshit that they're putting out there. And that's why we're labeled conspiracy theorists. That's why they're trying to, didn't they try to start a damn agency to monitor what people say, or like some shit like that, but it didn't work out.
No, I think they were going to assign it to an agency that's already in existence, just like a subdivision of that agency. It might have been the NSA, even though they're already monitoring everybody.
I mean, because all of us that are, as soon as that shit happened, all of us were like looking for all the interviews of the people that were on the ground and stuff like that. And then you start hearing about the firefighters and stuff, hearing the explosions going, like leveling down, like pong 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 pong, like that. That shit is crazy, and the fact that so many people, I think it's like, I looked at the stats earlier. It's like 58% of people believe the government lied about 9/11. Right? I'm not getting off on 9/11 banter. I'm just going. This is a statistic that I read earlier. 58% of people believe the government had prior knowledge of 9/11. Another 10% on that. 10% on top of that is open to the idea of there have being prior knowledge and not being acted upon. So that's 68% of the people polled that said that are open to a quote unquote conspiracy theory.
I got a question for you. Talking about conspiracy theories. Everybody has heard about CERN, knows about CERN. I was just sitting here thinking, CERN is the only one everybody pays attention to. There's a bunch of these damn things around. There's one that's bigger than CERN. What if these things are not what we thought they were? You know, that supposedly they were trying to do the God particle and all this kind of stuff. Well, here recently they just been firing it up. They're not even gathering data from it, really, right?
That's what they claim. They claim they are, but
Okay.
Do that for a second.
Well, this solar flare thing got me to thinking. I know this sounds far-fetched sci-fi. Just give me a second. Like I said, I'm not saying it is, but just give up, for instance, because like I said, this goes to that conspiracy stuff. What if this was part of the Space Force stuff, and they figured out a way to use these things as a shield generator? Like if they fire them all up at the same time, because I'm trying to think. I went back and just looked. Back in 2000, I think in one, a small solar flare spike hit California, and it took out part of the grid. A small one. Now, the third largest ever been known on record hit the Earth the other day, and the only thing it did was disrupt fucking cable. But we know CERN fired up at the same time. What if they figured out a way to use this shit like a shield generator? So, because think about it, the solar flare, what it is actually radiation, right? It's the EMP, right?
Yeah. Yep.
All right. If some other force outside of that's outside of Earth decided to come in and attack us, you don't think that they could have some kind of technology that could work like an EMP that they could generate to hit us? So what if they know that and they fixed it where that these things create a shield around us that EMPs don't affect us, or something from outside of our atmosphere don't affect us? Well, shit just ain't adding up. I'm telling you, 2 and 2 ain't making 4. This is some Common Core math shit adding up.
So now the question is, okay, so I wonder if they. So CERN is the one we know about, right? Isn't there one in like Texas also?
There's
Or
one somewhere between Texas and Arizona. There's another one up further north. There's another one over towards y'all, and there's one out towards California, I think. Those are
and that,
all small ones, but think about it.
if you
Those are
put
all smaller. But if you take several satellite dishes that are small, you can actually make one large dish by directing all of them to the same point.
hmm
So what if they figured out, instead of having to have this one these massive things, they could figure out how to take smaller ones and do it. And take several smaller ones like satellite dishes and make a giant dish with it. I'm not saying any of this is right. I'm thinking maybe they figured out when they were trying to get the God particle, when they turned it on, they figured out that it was doing something else. And they're like, wait a minute, this is more useful to do this with than what you originally built it for. Because y'all know that's happened numerous fucking times. But look at Kevlar. Kevlar was developed by on an accident, and it is widely used. How much?
every day across the planet.
All right. So accidental shit does happen, and then they take off with it. What if that's what happened?
You know, that kind of makes sense. It's that they would use that they experimented and found out that it could be used as a quote unquote barrier. But what would they want to bear besides solar flares? What could they try to be barricading us from?
Never know. What if the solar flare was just a test? If it worked on on something as strong as that solar flare, could they use it for something else? Because think about it, if these things are strategically placed all around the globe, and something comes in towards US, they flip on these over here. They don't have to flip on everything. All they got to do is redirect what's coming at them.
So, deflect possibly maybe like incoming armament or something like that from outer space,
Yeah.
or something trying to land here.
Well, I don't know if it'd keep out a ship, but it would keep out an energy weapon because, like I said, a solar flare is a directed EMP. That's all it is. It's a EMP blast. This went out. So if it can redirect or deflect that EMP or radiation, because think about it, if you were going to hit this planet and you wanted the resources, you would use something like an EMP or you would use radiation weapons.
Yeah, knock out the power grid.
Exactly.
You could even possibly use it to. I think honestly, another idea for that would be anti-nuclear, anti-WMD, because all the sensitive little electronics in those missiles, you short all of them out, it just becomes this giant rod that's kind of yeah. Because everyone's been looking for a defense against nuclear weapons, other than more nuclear weapons.
If something like that goes off, nuclear weapons ain't what you got. They have a thing. They have satellites up in space that has what they call the gods or the rod's god.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Those are those huge tungsten rods that bang. And it's just rods that they shoot from outer space, and when they hit the Earth, it creates the equivalent of a nuclear explosion.
Yeah,
That
without all the radiation and all the side effects.
that is one of the craziest weapons I've heard of.
Because think about it, if you launch, all right, if we unless you know you're going to be dead anyway, and it doesn't matter if you launch nuclear weapons, nobody's going to be able to use the land, so it's worthless. You cause war to gather more land, to gather more resources. If you contaminate the land and the resources, it's worthless. You just wasted all your resources for no reason.
Yep. Shelley's question: what if they jumped us to an alternate universe dimension to protect us, but can't tell us because people would freak out? Shell, I can safely say, from mind of things, they have not been able to do that. They would probably like to, but they would not know where to point it.
I think it was a shield. I think it's simple. It was simple as that. It was a shield. Sometimes I like Occam's razor. Sometimes the simplest answer is the best answer. Yeah, that's the rods of God.
Sorry about that. But this is a weapons platform that sends down tungsten rods, and these tungsten rods fly, and gravity takes these things. Gravity does all the work. Brings them down, brings down these huge tungsten rods, because they can settle the weapon system right over where they want. Release one of these rods, come shooting down at how, I don't even know how fucking fast that would be.
Well,
But
at 8,000 feet, a regular human, 200-pound human body, by the time it goes from 8,000 feet and gets to zero, you're doing about 150 miles an hour, and that's just 200 pounds.
So this one right here says the guided rods enter the atmosphere protected by a thermal coating traveling at 36,000 feet per second, comparable to the speed of a meteor. The result, complete devastation of the target, even if it is buried deep underground.
Yep.
Like, this is one of the craziest weapons systems I've heard of. Is this part of SDI? The Strategic Defense Initiative that Reagan talked about?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Most tinfoil hat theory I heard about that particular thing is that they send out these satellites to other planets that might be hostile and just put it in orbit and just let them all loose at strategic points.
I could see that. I could. It'd be a hell of a weapon to do it.
Dude, you know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of some old school James Bond villain type shit.
Well, the thing is, if y'all go back and look up, there's 3 movies that come out before this was made public that use this. One is GoldenEye.
Mm-hmm.
Mine. There was another one the other 2 I can't remember the name of. If this goes along to what me and Kat was talking about last night, they put stuff out into movies and stuff like that to release it, because what it does is it gets you prepared for when you see it. It's not that shocking.
It's like soft conditioning.
Yep.
Do you see what Sanctum just put?
No. What do you say?
No, I can see it. What?
Rods of God travel so fast that when they break orbit, you can hear it from miles and miles away across the planet. Gravity can make just one of these rods hit so hard that it causes it to burrow through.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's a conspiracy for you.
All right, there's this movie called Core.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, great
Good
movie.
That had the whole movie wrapped around this scientist that come up with this new formula called unobtainium. Everybody, nobody thought nothing about it. Then a couple of years later, some scientists released that they had been able to develop a new material that didn't exist before. And guess what its name was? Unobtainium.
Yeah, originally unobtainium was a term used for any material or element that was not able to be acquired.
Well, it's on the damn periodic table now, unobtainium.
And like that, like element 115 that Bob Lazar talked about. That wasn't on the periodic element, but it is now.
Yep. It's soft conditioning. Same way with what the unexplained the UFO vehicles that are coming into the atmosphere. Now they did a press conference and said, "Yeah, we don't know where this is coming from. We don't know who's piloting them, but it's not of this Earth." They didn't say there was piloted by ETs, but they left that up for your imagination. But that's what they said. That's exactly how they said it.
I remember when our lockdown first happened, they actually came out and admitted that they have retrieved craft that didn't originate on this planet. Like it was a real quick, here, hold this, then they shut right up about it.
I said,
real fast.
Well, I said it's a way that we don't have to ask a whole bunch of questions when it comes up. Because think of all the scrambling. Like I said, nobody knew about the stealth chopper until that one crash when they took out Bin Laden, and then all of a sudden look at all the damn stuff that happened about that, because we hid this. Our U.S. government has to have secrets, because if we don't, then we're wide open to our enemies. You can't prepare against something if you don't know about it.
Well, I remember a few months ago, one of our state-of-the-art jet fighters crashed over there in the Pacific Ocean, and there was like a mad scramble between us and like a couple of different countries to go get the wreckage.
Yeah,
because it was high-tech technology. It was high-tech stuff.
They're probably using back engineered technology from craft from not around here. I mean, they say the F-22 Raptor has some of the some UFO technology in it. No, you don't have to say anything, Walt.
That's a badass plane, though, man.
Well,
I remember growing up, I used to love
there's a TV series, documentary that goes into this guy, a scientist tells you the same thing I've been telling people.
What's going on, Chaos?
He tells you, look at 1980 when the Guidestones were erected. Look at the technology we had then. Then look at 1990. In 10 years, look how far we progressed. It was like we come out of the Stone Age we advanced so fucking fast, so much. It wasn't because we earned it, we stole it. Back engineering.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, they were flying the stealth fighter back in the 70s. Nobody really seen it until Desert Storm, and people were reporting seeing some kind of strange UFO craft. But that was
how you can tell
that was our shit that they had for 20 years already.
How you can tell when the stealth fighter came into development is the SR-71 Blackbird. Most people don't even know that damn plane existed. It only flew for like 8 years, I think it was. When they developed stealth, they actually mothballed the SR-71 because it was obsolete. That plane was the fastest plane on the planet, and now it's obsolete. In 8 years, it went obsolete. How the fuck can you go from the top of the dog to obsolete in 8 years?
Oh, and before the SR-71, they had the U-2.
Yep.
That was back in what, the 50s? I think that was.
The SR-71 is the only spy plane that the U.S. has built that has never been shot down.
I think the next logical progression from the F-117 Nighthawk would be the TR-3B.
Hey, dude, I got to get off for a little bit. I'll be back, and I'll be back in a little while, all right?
Yep, no problem.
All right, we'll holler at y'all.
Yep. Yeah, to me, the next logical step if you're developing secret craft would be the TR-3B. If anybody doesn't know what the TR-3B is, those are the triangular anti-gravitic triangular anti-gravitic craft. I'm getting a little perched here. See,
and I think we went past the TR-3B now because those are becoming widespread. So we have something else. But it is.
And so
People have probably seen it, but they didn't know what the hell they were saying.
I'm gonna say it again. Let's postulate on what they might have. Oh, Bash, you put your little alien thing up on your.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me bring up your screen there, guy. See Bass's glow in the dark alien head? That's actually a 3D printed alien skull.
I have no idea where the hell that skull is, too. I think it got thrown out.
It didn't get. I don't think so. I remember putting it in one of those bags when I was helping you move.
We'll see.
But yeah. So Ralph, what do you think?
About the TR3Bs, I honestly think that the main way to figure out which one is being piloted by a human and which one is being piloted by an ET is how smooth they fly.
Yep, because I believe the ET. I need to go get some tea or something in a second, but I feel like the ET craft would move a lot smoother. Do you know what I mean? Whereas one of the ones piloted by a human might be jerky and in their motion because humans not really supposed to be using that technology that's in there. Could that be the right phrase?
They're not as used to the technology as a whole.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, who's to say what the equivalent of the land craft, like their version of cars, would be on ET planets?
Yeah. I think the TR3Bs were kind of a hand me down anyway. You know what I mean? Like, that's one of the species we were dealing with. They gave us. He was like, "All right, we're done with this. We're done with these designs here. You guys can have them." And then they gave us a few triangular craft, and we we reverse engineered them into what we now call a TR3B.
All right. So I'll pose a question for you. Could these TR3Bs be back engineered from the craft that they were seeing in the early '90s out there in Belgium?
No, I think the craft that they were seeing in Belgium in the early '90s were the actual TR3Bs. They weren't alien craft. They were government. They were. Okay, so I'm gonna say Space Force, not Space Force, but Secret Space Program craft that they were seeing back then, and because, like we said, they developed the stealth fighter and the F-117 stealth fighter in the '70s, and didn't release it until the '90s, right? So if it was developed in the '70s, what would be what's after like 10 years you would start working on something new, right? Of it being hidden.
Yeah.
I would start working on something new.
And can I just say that the term Space Force sounds like a damn TV show that has a comedic undertone?
The Space Force. Yeah. No, I like the Secret Space Program, SSP. I'll continue to use that term.
Well, obviously that shit is legit because look, they were going hard trying to get Gary McKinnon. The only reason they didn't bring him over here is because they would actually have had to admit what he caught on those computers.
I mean, it was the government's own the government can't be mad at. Well, they can be mad, whatever, but they should only be mad at the fucking selves for leaving their computers unlocked like that. Like,
Yeah, all he was doing, he said he's seen so many other people backdooring into that system, but they picked him out.
You are running a government computer system that has untold amounts of secrets that you don't want people to know, right? Wouldn't you make sure all your passwords and your logins wouldn't be admin password?
Not just that, but if they're going to be like holding really top secret stuff, make it towards biometrics, where the only way that you can get in is someone either copies your fingernail or they take your finger and use it as a key.
Yep. So it's like
Biometric signing.
If I was Gary McKinnon, I'm like, yeah, I know I hacked your shit, but then again, you didn't make it hard. You actually made it relatively easy. And he was in there for a while before they caught him.
Yeah, so, like he printed stuff out. He got names. I'm not too sure about dates, but he got ship names, names of
Transfer
officers,
records.
and transfer orders and everything like that. Non-terrestrial officers.
Sue said she knows that they're getting way more ships here in Australia than before, more noticeable. Hey, Sue, take your phone and record it. Send it to us. I want to see some UFOs from Australia. I think that would be cool as hell.
Oh, Shelly, question for Roth. I hear a whistleblower super soldier say we have teams of soldiers fighting in fourth dimension and have been. Any idea if it's true? That sounds like an area that I'm not too familiar with, because I have not been hearing anything on my buddies about having to fight any human armies. So that sounds like something that's purely human versus human stuff.
Interesting question, though.
Yeah, I like that one, Shell. Right, that's beep, 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 beep. Truth. Crazy part is he did it for months. Yeah, exactly, Wedge. Exactly. He did it for months on a dial-up connection.
Which
And
takes
they-
you 5 minutes to freaking get onto the internet. And if somebody picks up the phone, you get booted right off.
He did it for months on a dial-up connection. So, like, if I was like the head of who he hacked DARPA, he hacked NASA, I think he hacked the
DOD.
the DOD. If I was the head of, say, their IT, or just the head of that organization, dude, I'd have that IT guy's ass chewed, and he'd probably be in jail for being one of the most incompetent people ever, for not putting some kind of safeguard on a system like that. Like you invited people in. It's not like you can't bring him over to the United States, because what happens when he has to go under oath and tell everybody what he saw in those files. You think they want everybody to see that he found out secret space program shit with ship to ship transfers and actual names of U.S. spaceships? Hell no. So they're like, all right, no, you don't have to come over here, but you're not allowed to touch the internet, dude. We're monitoring your ass.
Hey, that was one of the stipulations, right? He can no longer have access to a computer or something like that.
Typhon asks, has anybody had any weird, vivid dreams the last couple of days? Nah, man, just more deja vu like dreams. That's all I get.
I'm trying to think. No.
Sean G said teens were always hacking hospital systems for fun. Why? Why would you hack a hospital system? That's fucking evil. That's evil.
That's cold blooded, man.
You gonna switch grandma pain meds from Vicodin to ibuprofen? Some shit. Oh, it's late. Don't mind my giggle.
You're gonna switch grandpa's medicine for gout with Viagra.
That actually might be pretty funny. Like in dreams, you felt like you were wide awake and remember everything. Yeah, no, I can't. It would be awesome. Let's in chat, everybody in chat, answer Typhon's questions. Has anybody had any weird dreams last couple of nights, like when they're wide awake and you can remember everything?
It's just running again for me. Basically, like a lot of deja vu stuff. Like I'll take a step and like I'll be walking on, like make a turn a little bit, and I'm like, dude,
So you've been getting a lot of deja vu also.
yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
Nothing more than
Ross, same with you?
I've been getting some deja vu recently too. Yeah.
Like more than normal?
Just the fact that it hasn't happened for a while, but it's happened to me today, and I think another day. Like only for the past few days have I been getting a lot of deja vu.
I, something weird's going on, folks. I totally believe that. I don't know what it is. It's hard to put a finger on it.
Just can't put your finger on it. Trying to figure it out, like when a cop pokes you in the chest, that can't do that yet. Yeah, just there's just a strange feeling.
Yeah, Shell. I've looked into the 20 and back information, and it's pretty interesting. Um, to say the least, yeah. The fact that they can take your consciousness, put in like a clone body, you live out that body, and then they can regress you back to when to the point they took you. That shit is crazy. Then that gets into the whole like cloning and the reported cloning centers that are around, and it yeah, that's a rabbit hole. That one's deep. Those the information on cloning centers, but leave that on the side for a later
Well,
date.
Sean G says he knows a guy that claims he's part of the 20 and back program. Yo, Sean G, you want to hop in, man?
Yeah,
You know
come
you
on
always
in.
got an open invite.
Hell
You
yeah.
always have an open invite, man.
But yeah, the 20 and back program stuff is really interesting. What's the one dude's name? No, not
I know who you're talking about. He's been
the,
on.
the Spanish dude.
Yeah.
What the hell is his name? It was Anthony Rodriguez. No, damn, I think it was that. I think that was his name.
There's
Okay, no
another
problem,
guy.
G. Sean. But he talks about how he was brought up there to be like a work slave and shit, and then he was almost used as cannon fodder. I guess that's what it was. They sent them out there to draw out whatever these insect things were on. Was it the moon? I don't know. Wild account, and the fact that so many people are saying the same thing. I don't believe in coincidences. Like I said, yeah, Shell. I sent them. No, I did. I saw him. All the yeah
Yeah,
that
so that's him. Corey Goods. He's the other guy that talks about the 20 and back.
Corey Good, and there's a dude named Kramer, Randy Kramer. I think that's his name. I think he talks about the 20 and back program also.
See, and you know what? You know what this boils back down to? Conspiracy theory.
See, I love a good conspiracy theory. You know why? Because I love stuff that makes your mind think. Like, holy shit, man! Maybe Bigfoot is real. What are the Fey folk? I mean, to go around every day closed minded and not be open to fringe topics.
The possibility of something.
The possibility that something doesn't line up with your view. I think that's the definition of crazy. To me, that is. Oh, Blue Cruise says Josh Turner was in his latest dream. You're in a large living room area. Was sitting on a couch with a MacBook laptop in front of him, resting on a coffee table. Maybe you guys were doing an interview. You never know. Um, just if, yeah, I don't, dude. Didn't I used to have a dream book that would like give you it would like give you a readout of your dreams. What the hell ever happened to that book?
I don't know.
I used to have a library like you see all these shelves right behind me, like back in the early 2000s, late 2010, early 2010, I could have filled up all these shelves with all the books that I had.
Yeah, One of the main things that I'd like to point out about the mind of a conspiracy theorist and how conspiracy theories can either spread and some can even become disinformation is that there are indeed programs that are used to utilize people's thought processes, especially the types that are trying to seek out the truth, to intentionally lead them astray, and that's how you sometimes get. And I'm just going to quote this: the whole, they're turning the frogs gay. That kind of disinformation because something is pulling them away from where they're really supposed to be going, but they end up going to this incorrect presumption.
Mike Bass, who was the guy that who was the guy that messed with Paul Benowitz? You know his name. Richard Doty.
Yeah, Doty.
That's perfect pick for the example. Richard Doty, government agent, used he spread misinformation through Paul Benowitz, which eventually drove Paul Benowitz crazy. But yeah,
Which I
misinformation is
personally
usually
believe that Paul Benowitz was getting some good shit out there. That's why they sent Doty after him like that.
well. Richard Doty, if I'm not mistaken, Sasquatch Chronicles in one of their last few episodes, they had an interview with Richard Doty playing the beginning part of the show, and it's really good. And he talks about like stuff he really saw while he worked at what was it S4 and how he was what what's the documentary called Mirage Men?
Yeah, Mirage Men, that is a great documentary.
How they pulled the wool over Paul Benowitz and fed him all this misinformation.
Yeah, but then he comes back out years later saying like, okay, yeah, I have experienced some of this stuff.
See, yeah, I never got that. The whole I'm gonna criticize people for this shit, but and then like a couple of years later, you come out and say it like Fife
Yeah,
Symington.
I was just about to say that guy.
Fife Symington. He went on record uh, saying like made so much fun of people seeing that big ass craft in Phoenix that he brought out his one of his people. They had an
Yeah,
alien
one of his
mask on and
aides.
everything like that. And then few years after that, the guy said, "Yo, yeah, I
No, it
saw it."
wasn't a few. No, it wasn't a few days. It was he
No,
just recently came.
I said years.
Oh,
But yeah, after that, he comes out and says, "Yeah, yeah, I saw it." So why would you give why would you give people
well,
so much grief and make them make them feel like they were crazy when they were talking about this shit, and you're playing games with them, and then you come out and say it years later. Yeah, I admit, yes, I saw it. It was really strange. Like, just
and
admit it the first time, dude. I understand you're in a position of power, you're in a political position, and it might hurt you or whatnot. But what's going to hurt you more? Making pretty much mocking the people that put you in the office, or just telling the truth?
well, what a lot of people don't know about that incident is that initially, I think it was Kurt Russell flying his plane
Mm-hmm.
reported seeing it to the air traffic controller. Uh, There's been so many celebrities that have seen UFOs. A lot of them, I'm pretty sure, were on drugs, but nonetheless, they've seen UFOs. Like dude, there's this old, I forgot which John Wayne movie it is, but there's a John Wayne movie where you can see a UFO in the background.
Huh?
You never heard? Oh man, I'm
See,
gonna have to find
all
that
right.
and send it to you.
1 second. I'm about to go find it right now.
I,
I'm pretty sure it's an old John Wayne movie.
For
Speaking of, like, again, the whole conspiracy theory stuff, as you guys brought up Kurt Russell, my favorite movie of all time is Big Trouble in Little China. And I like to point out that the main theme of it was someone getting into a situation they had no idea about and finding out a whole lot of stuff had been going on that they had no clue was even going on.
Oh man, I love that movie. Absolutely love that movie.
Roth, that's a
You,
perfect example of what we're talking about.
Mhm.
you know what old Jack Burton says in a situation like this?
You'd have to
You,
be some kind of fool to think we're all alone in this universe.
So,
You do
yeah,
know
I
that they're
think
trying to make like a sequel to that with The Rock in it, right?
I heard it was going to be a remake. I'm like, no.
They've been stop. You guys are doing way too much. Stop. If you want to remake something, if you want to remake a movie, that was a great '80s movie. I don't know how many people have seen this. It's called The Wraith.
with Charlie Sheen.
It's one of Charlie Sheen's first roles. Didn't have many speaking lines in it. Great movie.
I think it's because he didn't talk too much. All right, so I believe I found a still shot of this
John Wayne
UFO.
UFO.
Yes. And if I'm not mistaken, the thing goes. It was caught on the film, right? And
Yeah, while they were filming the scene, it was caught in the background.
let me see.
So
I don't.
the movie Rio Grande 1950.
All right, yeah, I'm trying to find a video clip of it. That won't get me fucking flagged or copyright infringed. You know what I mean? Everything's on YouTube. I'll just bring up a screenshot of it right here.
Don't play the video if you can bring up a screenshot of that.
View file. So StreamYard. Well, yeah, I got too many tabs open on my shit.
Dude, you really never seen this thing? Like,
I remember hearing about it, but share screen. Share. Add to the menu. Bing bong. Boom. So apparently this is it right here, and it if I'm not, doesn't it go like down like this way, or does it come up this way?
You're gonna have to watch the clip. Don't play it here, but you're gonna have to watch the clip. Yeah.
All right, so I'll leave that up on the screen for a second. All right, I'm gonna go watch this damn clip. Where the fuck is the page? What's going on in the chat? How my blue meanies doing down in there? All right, so now, John, we're gonna go to video. Next video.
See, and then there's another subject that you could get into. What role does Hollywood play in conspiracy theory?
I want to say that it is in tailored disclosure as well as tailored misdirection.
Okay. So they are putting out some truths and some falseness.
Yeah.
It makes a lot of sense because I remember seeing the scene in.
Oh, that's
Yep,
wild.
The scene in Independence Day where they're going down into Area 51 once they find out about it, that they actually had some military liaisons there, like giving them information about how to set it up, what to put, where, this like that back room they walked into with the aliens and basically in a vat of liquid. That was told to them to do that.
There's definitely something there. Holy shit! Wow,
Dude, you never seen it?
It splits off into two things.
Yeah.
All right, so all right, I'm gonna go back to the screenshot. You guys got to go look at this video. All right.
This is from the 50s.
What happens in the video? Can you see my arrow?
Mm-hmm.
So what happens in the video, right? This thing comes from right here, zips over here, right? Zips back over this way. It splits into two objects and then starts making its way up the hill here and then shoots off and then ends up right here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, imagine like in that time period, if they were told by some agency to clip that out, just how complex of a thing they would have to do in order to get that changed?
Oh, they would have had to refilm it.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah,
there would have been no cut, no slicing. They would have had to refilm the whole scene. That's crazy, right? Dude, how have you never seen this?
I'm
I
sure
seen this like 10, 12 years ago. And I was
sure,
like, holy shit.
I'm sure I have, dude. But how much shit do I got rattling around up here? I got so much information about so many different conspiracy theories and factoids about
And
so many cryptids, and it's ridiculous.
this is one of those things where they actually like let it go in the movie. Just like supposedly in excuse me, The Wizard of Oz, where supposedly someone's hanging from a tree in the background or hanging from something in the background, and you can see when they're starting to walk up the yellow brick road.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Could this possibly be one of the first recorded UFO sightings on camera, filmed during the movie? That I bet you nobody sitting in the movie theater when this came out noticed that in the background.
They were probably too busy staring at Mr. John Wayne over there. What was his name? He had a feminine ass on it too, didn't he? All right, so
Which I'm gonna have to look that up.
what?
It said the UFOs filmed in a Dokken. I know I'm butchering that music video. Walk away at 3 minutes 49 seconds.
Dokken. All right, so who's Dokken? Is that artist? Like, what kind of music you do to make it? Because if need be, I'll just put it on mute and watch the video.
I think Dawkins was like an 80s hair metal band or hair rock band.
I couldn't tell you. I'm into like classic 80s rock and all that shit like that. I've never heard of that band before. Like play one of the, I'll play one of, I'll find one of their songs to play to see if I know, because I listen to classic rock all the time, so it might ring a bell, but I've never actually heard that name before. I love that you can play background music on this shit now. I love it.
Can you hear it?
Mm-hmm.
And dude, this shit gets loud too.
No, I can't hear it, dude. You know I can't hear it.
Oh yeah, I asked the wrong person. Sorry.
Shit ain't funny.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. You know I love you, Mike. Fucking. All right. All right. So I don't even have my chat up. Hold up. All right. Move. Red Raider. Move so forward.
Oh, wait. Hold on. Got another conflict. Nah, you don't want to touch that. Well, yeah, fuck it. You know what? Talk about what you told me earlier. How they did the autopsy on the guy, and they found a worm in his heart about the size of a ramen noodle.
What?
No, I'm not. I'm not touching that subject because I'm not getting banned for talking about that shit. All I'm gonna say is, jibby jabs aren't what you guys thought they were. Look that shit up. That's all I'm gonna say.
What it says in the video is 3 UFOs moving across the sky. You don't have to look at this video.
And to like kind of talk about what some people were talking about earlier, like how everyone's been seeing this really large sphere type shape in the sky lately.
Mm-hmm.
My sources say that is the ET equivalent of a refuel station, and the fact that they've officially put one up over Earth's orbit kind of says how things are getting more regular now with ET travel to and from. Maybe it was even commissioned by whoever's piloting and in control of the TR-3Bs. Because the fuel source for those TR-3Bs can't really be readily made on Earth and be able to be
That's one of those things that has to be created in the vacuum, the quote unquote vacuum of space, which there's a few things like that. But the fact go ahead, sorry.
And just the fact that I've heard some people say it turned square, I have not heard anything about that, but yeah, I more or less know what that sphere is.
And that's crazy that they've pretty much put like what do we have coming now that they need a fueling station, if that's what it is. Do you know what I mean? Like, are we expecting some big time visitation? Are we expecting the cat out? They're going to start letting the cat out of the bag. Are we in the beginning stages of a quote unquote mass invasion? I doubt it, because it's all bullshit. What is it? Project Bluebeam. They were going to roll that out.
I think another situation was the Uplifting event. If you guys have heard of that, it's where a more advanced civilization goes to a less advanced civilization and more or less directly brings up that civilization up to their level.
See, but I thought there was like an unwritten rule about not messing with developing civilizations, which some of these ET races have violated that by coming in and interfering with the human race. Like, I've heard of that for years.
That has, I think, been going into a lot of arguments now and debates on their side, and that because of time frames and powers that be that I can't even talk about, most I don't even know that well. There has been some leniency now, and it's now kind of like, okay, the timetable is now past the point where this should have happened, but it has clearly not. Maybe it's their way. Maybe it's their way of saying, okay, we're now enacting our plan B. If humans are not going to be able to save themselves, who will?
Well, we're in trouble because we got all the people in power are crooked as fuck, and they're the ones that have the ability to help us. Unless I'm not even gonna go there. But oh yeah, got a bit warm. What? Okay, guys, let me see something. What's a conspiracy theory you guys believe in the chat? You guys already know I believe in aliens. I think that was established like last episode. Read multiple parasites in our dogs from vet, and all who went to vet need to take their human version of it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to repeat that, but everybody read Shell's comment in chat. Mm-hmm. Like I said, when I look into stuff, I really look into stuff, and I came across some really messed up shit about the jibby jab results and how I think the WHO. No, it's not the WHO. It's a different global health organization. Said they need to be pulled because of 40,000. Look those numbers up.
I see that comment read. That's interesting.
Yeah, from everything I've been told and everything I've been taught, time travel's a lot more difficult than most of the theories say it is, because it's easy to accidentally just go into another dimension at an earlier time than it is to go into your own timeline's past.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I
So go
I
ahead.
would say it would be easier to move from, like, let's say you open up a portal on Earth and you end up on the other side of the Milky Way galaxy than it is actually time travel,
Hmm.
because you're just creating a wormhole. Like, picture a piece of loose leaf paper, right? You want to get from one end of the loose leaf to the other end. What's the fastest way between that? You
Poke a hole
fold.
in it.
Yep. No. You fold the two ends up, poke a hole through it. And
Yep.
that's the way you go.
So
Time travel, that's tough. Time travel's tough. Like, maybe, possibly, maybe, because that breaks into the to the guy from Art Bell, freaking Madman Markham, who mysteriously disappeared after he was working on a time machine.
shit. I just lost my train of thought. So somebody time travel. Fuck. I just had a
Yeah,
really good. Let's see what happened. I
it'll
need.
come back.
I can't stream without coffee. I'm not. I can't think. Fuck. I just had a really
Coffee,
good. What?
coffee's
Yeah.
overrated.
Shit, dude. No, it's not. And and that will never be said again on this channel. Watch your mouth, boy. Watch your mouth.
Coffee's overrated.
Bass earns me. No.
I'd rather drink a hot cup of tea.
Oh, okay. Now I know what I was going to talk about with time travel. John Titor. Do you guys
Yeah.
remember the story of John Titor from like the early 2000s about this guy who time traveled back from the I forgot what year it was, but he time traveled back for an IBM computer, I believe it was, and he started making these posts on what forum was it?
Was it above top secret?
It might have been on the above top
Which
secret.
that forum is still going, and it used to be good, not so much now, but
Oh no, dude, it's full of that. You're not gonna find. You can find good stuff on above top secret chat boards, but you got to go digging in the archives for that stuff.
oh yeah, all the good stuff was back in like the mid 2000s, man.
Yeah, like the that China earthquake.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I don't. I remember. Yeah, go there. Titter was on the art bell boards. There you go. Yep. That was, and then John Titter made all these posts. I forgot how many. I forgot exactly how many because it's been a while since I looked into it. But he made all these internet posts and talking to people about time travel. And I believe that he had come back in time, and he was it that he was living with his family from this time period? One of the there's a few different stories like that, but yeah. And then he stopped posting, and everybody's like, "What the hell happened to this guy?" And then that's when the mystique of John Titter came up. Like, yo, was John Titter a real time traveler? I don't know, but it was interesting as hell. Um, like I said on Wolf's show, I think I might have had an encounter with a time traveler. Maybe. I'll tell it here since I told it on Wolf stuff. Single Seven. Yes, I remember that. Sean G. But yeah. Like you guys know, I'm a supervisor at UPS, and I supervise the guys that load the trucks in the mornings and shit. And we had this one preloader there. He was cool, dude. He was like 30. Yeah, it was like he's a white guy, like 30 years old. He had like a bit of a goatee on him, but it was weird. He would come in. He was a good ass loader. That's why he flew underneath the radar for me. And all he would do is come in and watch the stocks. He would load his trucks and watch the stocks, like even with the phone in his hand, watching stocks and then loading trucks, right? And he did this for like a month or two, and then finally one day he said, "All right, my experiment here is done." Nobody saw him after that. We still bring him up. We still bring him up every once in a while because that shit is weird. No, like nobody ever heard from him again. Nobody ever saw him again. Like it was really strange. I think he was back here getting stock information and fucking being a little crooked. I mean, if it's, we can work the system, why not, right? Oh, you see that? You see what Shell put in the chat, Ruff?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, that sounds like dimensional shifts, but not the way that most people think. It sounds like, yeah, everything was affected, and yeah, okay, now you have me thinking about, okay, what changed about me when the first CERN thing turned on? I mean, like, if anyone ever starts thinking about what was a thing that everyone says that you do, but you never recall to ever doing it or having it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna get into that one. Do tell, huh? No, we're good on that one. So, losing my slipper here. Ow, bass. Oh yeah, just I don't know. Like I said, how long we've been going? We've been going for not an hour and a half, right?
Yeah.
And you know what we've been doing for an hour and a half? Being conspiracy theorists.
More or less, yeah. I'm trying to think of what was the earliest known publicly repeated conspiracy theory, and
in recent knowledge,
like
the JFK assassination. That JFK, JFK assassination.
No. Roswell crash.
Yeah. Or the one before that in Aztec. Or the Shag Harbor incident, where the apparently that UFO flew over that guy in the harbor, and it like dropped like molten metal on his boat, and it actually
conspiracy theorist is the first major conspiracy was the Roswell crash.
No, the Shag Harbor thing happened before that.
No, it didn't.
See,
no, it didn't.
You forget. I'm sitting here in front of my thing here.
I don't give a shit. You're wrong.
All right, we're gonna see.
You're absolutely wrong.
Because I remember, like, in history, the term conspiracy has always been associated with someone plotting something or plotting a thing to happen, whereas in modern history, at least from the early 1900s, conspiracy has turned into the theory of a thing that has happened.
A cover up.
Yeah.
Okay, no, I got it. It's the wrong one. The Shag Harbor incident was the one that happened up near Nova Scotia, where that large object crash landed in the harbor up there, and then there was reports of like other craft going underneath. They could see other lights underneath the water, and then at one point that craft and the other ones shot up out of the water.
Yeah,
what the hell?
Down there repairing it.
You know which one I'm talking about? The one where the guy was fishing on his. It was out near like California. The guy was fishing on his boat. This UFO flew over, let off some like molten shit, killed his dog, landed on his boat. Two guys showed up to transfer this.
Yeah, but that was after Roswell. Yes, absolutely. I know exactly what you're talking about, dude. Roswell happened in 1947.
Yeah, you know, I don't know.
what you're talking about might have happened in like the 70s or the 80s. I'm pretty sure I'm getting that date
No, the
wrong,
hell
but it
that shit.
definitely did not happen before Roswell. Because right before Roswell, you had I forgot the guy's name who seen the saucer shaped disc skipping through the air when he was up in his plane.
Someone
That
brought
was a
up the Battle of Los Angeles and then the Philadelphia experiment.
true, but wait, hold on. Didn't the Philadelphia experiment happen after Roswell?
No, Philadelphia experiment.
I might be
happened-
mistaken. I might be wrong on that one. Don't quote me on that, but yes, the Battle of Los Angeles, where they were shooting at basically quote unquote nothing in the sky, but there's photos from that time where there looks like a disc-shaped craft that you can see heavy artillery shells getting shot at.
No, not. Well, Shag Harbor took place in 1967. I'm looking for the one. I'm looking for where the hell? What the hell? Why can't I find it?
Wait, no, I know. Well, you had that one that happened on. I think it was out in Texas,
No, it
where the UFO hit the windmill, and then they buried it underneath a slab of concrete. Like they threw the wreckage down into a well, then they buried it over. That happened in the 1800s.
No, the one I'm talking about. I think it happened off the coast of Catalina Island. Where the hell? Spirit UFO drops object to ground level. No, that's not that. No, that's not it. I'm getting kind of mad that I can't find that shit. But you, Bash, you know exactly which one I'm talking about, right? And then the two guys showed up to take it to, I think it was Wright Patterson, and their plane ended up crashing.
Oh yeah. I guess whatever wreckage they had started to heat up, and it burned a hole through the plane. Burned a hole through the plane, and they ended up crashing.
Yeah, that's the one I was looking for. I don't remember the exact name of that incident.
I know which one you're talking about. I can't remember the name either, but I do know which one you're talking about.
Let's see.
Shit, you want to go deep dive into conspiracy? How about the lost colony of Roanoke? What the hell happened out there?
I don't know. Cryptid, mass abduction, mass suicide. No.
How some of these ancient civilizations just disappeared? Wasn't there in Native Americans that just like disappeared? They had some stuff out there like Arizona, New Mexico area, something like that, and it's not the Anasazi like X-Files, but it's the story of the Anasazi follows the story of this group of Native Americans. I can't remember the damn name of
them. I'm just checking something real quick. Give me 2 seconds.
Roanoke, it was a dragon. That's funny, Cass.
Oh yeah, I remember hearing about Roanoke when we were younger, like in school and everything, and I remember that fascinating the hell out of me. Like, what do you mean all these people just were gone?
Yeah, we heard about that in social studies class.
Like, how does that happen? But then again, there are mass disappearances of people. There was like a Legionnaires battalion or some shit that had marched down the side of a mountain into a cloud, and the cloud lifted off and took them away. Do you remember hearing about that in the early 2000s? Like that story coming out from way back then? Well, I'm gonna find that one. I know I can find. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, see the mysterious vanishing battalion of World War One. Anomaly. So, mm, yeah, I don't want to see all the blue, all the. I just want to hear about the. Yeah. Okay. So I guess 3 New Zealand soldiers saw on a day in 1915 UFOs mysterious aerial phenomenon played a part in the disappearance of a battalion of British soldiers at Gallipoli. Yeah, like a whole battalion of British, like six to 800 men disappeared. I'm trying to find it right now.
Sorry about that. I thought a little inside joke. I thought I misplaced my hearing aids. Found them.
Where were they?
Huh?
Where were
Right
they?
in front of me underneath. Right in front of me underneath my wallet. It's been a long day.
Wait, actually, someone said a really good one. The disappearance of Atlantis.
Yeah.
That has been around for a few hundred years, actually, of people trying to figure out what happened.
Well, there was a book by a guy named Ignatius Donnelly that delves into Atlantis and other subterranean realms. I'm gonna have to re-download that book. Like I said, I've had that one's a good read. So much so that you can. They want hundreds of dollars for, I think, copies of that book. But yeah, let me see. All right, so StreamYard, share screen. So the reports of the missing battalion. It was reports of clouds like this, a cloud or something like this, landed. Am I sharing it yet? No, not yet. Like clouds like that landed on the side of a mountain, and these soldiers walked into this shit, and it lifted off, and just they were gone. There's so many obscure, weird UFO stories and encounters, and like a lot of stuff from Vietnam. I don't really know about any during the Korean War. But then again, I haven't really looked into that one. But definitely a lot during Vietnam, a lot during Desert Storm, Project. I guess what the hell do they call the one in Iraq recently? Project Freedom. I don't fucking know. Stupid. Looking for weapons of mass destruction. Yeah, apparently a cloud like this landed and took off with 600 to 800 men. Oh wow! Oh,
I haven't heard about that.
Can't be sharing that on the screen. Why'd that pop up? All right. Yeah, I'll be back in 2 seconds. I gotta get a drink.
Oh, Phil Schneider. That he got done wrong.
Oh yeah. Like the story of Phil Schneider. Very, very, very interesting.
Hmm.
Because I remember a few months ago we was talking about this book that was published where this one gentleman he interviewed a lieutenant colonel who was basically sent to Dulce after the whole incident, and he did confirm that Phil Schneider was there. Thomas Costello never existed, but Phil Schneider was there. So that right there gave a little more credence to his story. That and the man has so much information. They killed him fast. Like he was only on the circuit talking for a few years before they got him. The only reason he went public is because they killed his friend Ron Rummel, and someone shot him in the back of the head, and they said it was a suicide, and that's what made him go public. But that still didn't end well for him. I wholeheartedly believe what he was saying is true. It's just where he was digging on the site of Dulce wasn't it, it was a little off from where they say the main base is. But did something happen to him down there? Yes, it did. If you go back and you can probably still find his documentaries or whatever, like the early ones. He actually opened up his shirt so he could, and he showed the where he got hit in the chest with the thing. You could see his hand.
Hmm.
Looks like it got burned off. Thank you. If you want to, I don't mean to get graphic like this, but there is a few documentaries where they show his autopsy photos and stuff like that. Now, in this man's condition, there is no way that he'd have been able to wrap a catheter tube around his neck like that. Plus, all when they did find him, all his metals and stuff and materials, minerals and paperwork and stuff like that, all that was missing. And they never let the family get a proper autopsy of the body. Yes, Red, it was the Dulce fight. And I also believe in that incident when a lot of shit went haywire, that a lot of these things that they were working on with gene manipulation and stuff like that, some of them got loose.
Yeah, and powers that be. Oh, the powers that be that I know about have been infuriated and irritated about that since, because a lot of these black site programs are dealing with genetic manipulation that involves DNA of other side and ET species, and the species do not like that whatsoever.
Uh-huh. And back in those days, if you started to spill the beans about stuff, like there really wasn't no like internet access or anything like that, or they would just suicide you. Nowadays, all they got to do is get your IP address and like hack into your system, put a couple of things right there, and then you go down. They basically destroy your character. There's no need to kill you anymore unless you really got some good stuff. Then you might go missing. All right, I'm back.
that's the thing that makes me wonder about some of these guys that come out with their theories nowadays. Like, if you really had this kind of good information, they would have got to you or something.
Listen,
Good thought.
they're still in the business of knocking people off. They just do it differently now.
Who is the damn? You remember the one British dude? He was talking about how this guy was talking at a conference, and this gentleman walked into the back, like into the back of the room. He stood there for a couple of seconds, and he pointed something at the guy, and the dude died right there of a heart attack on stage. And the dude who pointed whatever it was just walked out whistling, and people tried to follow him. He hopped in the car and drove off.
Yeah.
What was his name? Old British guy. Oh yeah, and then you have a known incident with actor Dan Aykroyd from Ghostbusters, where he was producing the show, about UFOs and aliens and like that, and he was in downtown Manhattan
On a one-way street.
Yep, on a one-way street where he went outside. He was talking to Britney Spears on the phone about doing a show or something like that. He looked over and there was this black sedan with this big dude and this other guy standing right outside of it. He looked away, looked back, and the car was gone. Next thing you know, he gets a call. His show was canceled.
Mhm.
It's hard to find.
They never made it to air.
Episodes of that.
Yeah, the episodes never. I think maybe one episode made it to air. The rest of them were canceled. But you got to dig deep to go find those up. They're out there, but you got to dig to find them.
Oh yeah, dude. If you guys
Get the
really
chance,
want to listen to something interesting, look up
Dan Aykroyd
on UFOs.
Dan Aykroyd Unplugged on UFOs. Yep.
Yes.
He even talks about there was like a mass sighting one year, and he was in upstate New York, and he got the urge to go outside, and he saw the shit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Jesse Ventura, yeah, his show got canceled after there was 2 episodes. They got the Dulce episode and the episode where they were looking for those fucking train cars and those fucking giant plastic coffins. Those 2 episodes got his show taken off the air.
They also went after the show UFO Hunters.
Yep, after their Dulce. So
they had like one more season and they kicked them off the air.
And it's because of the officer, what was it, Gabe Valdez, started showing them those pictures of that. I don't know what the hell that thing was. The cow. It said it had like human ears and like human eyes, but it was like a cow and shit. Yeah, he started showing them that. He started showing them that picture and shit. Next thing you know, they're off the air.
And the whole Dulce incident, that's one of those things that really struck my interest. And when I first started hearing about it, it was like you had so many reports. You had the Thomas Costello stuff, and you had what the hell? What was the one? Brandon, I think his name was. He just went by Brandon. He was posting a whole lot of stuff about the Dulce stuff. Then you had George Benowitz, Phil Schneider, Gabe Valdez, Norio Hayakawa.
See, I don't know about the shell. I don't know about the Valiant Thor because, like, this is the picture that Phil Schneider says was a picture of Valiant Thor. He says that right there was his dad, and that, like, oh well, this is a better picture. This right here was Phil says this right here was his dad, and this was Valiant Thor. But then when you type in Valiant Thor, when you go type in Valiant Thor, you get pictures like this. That they don't look alike to me. So I don't know about the whole Valiant Thor thing, but I definitely give some credence to hit the rest of his story about working at that facility and possibly getting into a possible like altercation. Because if it wasn't true, why the hell they'd off him? There had to be something there. You know what I mean?
And Ron Rummel, when they started posting those little like monthly, I think it was called like UFO Digest or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
where they started spilling the beans and like almost kind of comic book form, but not really. If you look hard enough, you can still find those. They're still out there and about. See, in the story about Dulce takes place way before that. That shit was found by the cavalry back in the early 40s.
Yeah, the initial finding of Dulce. Well, the
Mm-hmm.
facility that Dulce is built on top of.
Mm-hmm. And how much was it? How much of it was a mind freak when you read that shit?
Well,
Put a lot of pieces together, didn't it?
yeah. Well, Shell, I don't think they've been scrubbed from the internet. I think you got to go to different search engines. Like, you're not gonna find anything on Google, any good information on Google. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
Because
Try duck.
like I've tried. I've been wanting to do a show on the Montauk Project and and the experiments they were doing down there. And every time, like if you go to Google and type in Montauk Project, all you get is comparisons to
Stranger
fucking
Things.
Stranger Things. You know what I mean? So it depends on what search. I think it depends on what search engine you use and what keywords you're using. You'll be able to
So,
find Phil's stuff though.
like my coworker and my boss, they talk about Stranger Things so much. Oh, have you watched a new episode of Stranger? No, I haven't watched since season 1. Why? Because that show is loosely based on what happened at Montauk. It doesn't, and they don't understand what the hell I'm talking about.
Yes, yes, Blue. He was found in his apartment with not piano wire, catheter tube.
Yep, the catheter tube wrapped around his neck that he couldn't have physically done himself.
I mean, I think they found him like they used his chair on him also, like to help strangle him or some shit like that. Yeah, and he had been there for days. So I'm not gonna bring up that. You can go on the internet and find his autopsy photos. Some very very morbid shit.
Yeah, there's this one good documentary. It's called I think it's called like The Life and Times of Phil Schneider, where they do like drawings of the incident at Dulce and like other stuff. They show his autopsy photos and like do like a real deep.
No, that's a documentary called The Underground.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
about
that's
Dulce,
it.
yeah.
Very good, very graphic. I think they even, if I'm not mistaken, they even talked to his ex-wife
Yep.
in that.
Diane got it
And she
right.
verifies everything about him.
Yep, Diane got it right. He had a catheter line wrapped around his neck, and he was on his knees with his head in with his knees. He's on his knees with his head and face in the wheelchair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like if the man wasn't on to something, if he wasn't revealing something that wasn't supposed to be revealed, why'd they off him? And then, not to mention, took all the evidence that he used to bring with him to conferences. All that shit disappeared.
Didn't let the family get a proper autopsy or anything like that. They wouldn't even let them see the body.
Yep. And honestly, like, going into the whole conspiracy theory thing too, as well, especially with the ETs and stuff. The ETs don't lose anything from being disclosed to the public. For the entire public to know about them. They only gain stuff. It's only those that are in control or try to be in control of this world are the only ones that lose anything by having everything outside of what they want to be known.
Yep, because they don't hold that power anymore. They don't have that secret.
Mhm.
See, Don, that's interesting what you just put. Now, truth, what was I saying for a long time? The Mayans, it wasn't going to be the end of the world. It was going to be a shift in consciousness
Hmm.
in 2012. I believe that's what happened.
Plus, the word world is such an umbrella term for many different things. It's not. It doesn't ever just mean the planet. It means
Like
consciousness, as you were
like
saying.
a way of life, a
Yep.
consciousness, something like that.
A world can be as small as a single person's worldview of things. It can be as logistical as what a small community thinks. Like a world, maybe a community for some people. The world doesn't necessarily have to mean the entirety of existence.
Huh, that's interesting, Sean. Sean G just said, I knew a doc that claimed he was cousin to Putin and Pelosi, and 2012 was supposedly planned end of the world. So what are they fucking 10 years behind? What the their timetable sucks then.
For every single person claiming that they're going to destroy the world, there are 10 people there to stop them.
Oh yeah, definitely. I believe I think the term for those are called white hats now. If I'm not mistaken, that's a term that I've heard used for these people fighting these cabal members in charge. They call them white
Mhm.
hats.
Like that. Like there are so many subjects that you could touch on in the realm of conspiracy. Like it's endless, basically.
Like, all right, like a good one.
What
Do
you
you
got?
think? Do you think Bob Lazar is Do you think Bob Lazar is completely in misinformation, or you think he's legit?
Some information, some misinformation, yes, but I do believe he's legit.
Ooh, Typhon, good one. Typhon said, quick change the topic. Has anybody here seen the latest Mortal Kombat movie? Is the reptilian in that movie what people claim reptilians are supposed to look like? I've seen that movie. Um,
Size off, yeah. That particular iteration is more closely to what people have been talking about, is more related to the cryptid. The ET reptilians, at least the ones that I have knowledge about, they have barely a muzzle. Well, they have a muzzle on themselves, but they don't have a full on reptile looking, like saurian looking face or head. Like not even the draconians really have that large a head when it comes to the body plan.
so like so the one in Mortal Kombat would say look more like the like Alligator Man or something like that.
Uh, it would look more like what like the skateboard swamp monster kind of looks
Okay.
like.
Yeah.
Like, because yeah, there have been things that look like that, but they're not the ETs.
All right, so I got the perfect analogy for what you're describing. Has anyone ever seen? It's a horrible movie. They need to remake this, but Super Mario Brothers, the Goomba.
Yeah.
I think the closest thing I could say is if you guys have seen the Amazing Spider-Man, if you've seen the lizard in that movie, think of that face, but has more of a snout and more reptile looking facial features than human looking.
Oh yeah, and Titan, just to let you know, they better do the Mortal Kombat 2 movie right because I really enjoyed the first one that they just did. So if they mess up the second one, they cannot mess up the second movie.
Okay,
not.
go up. All right. If you look at to the right, to your right hand side of the go down. Yeah, like right next to that. Yeah, that is more or less what they look like.
Or this might be a good one right here.
That looks like the thing from the Spider-Man movie.
Yeah, that is the picture of him. But if you take that previous image that was selected, that's pretty much what they look like. And some of them have ridges on their heads. Others are smooth.
Now, isn't the ridge line in the wing signifies like a royal cast, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Speaking of reptilians, Ralph, have you ever read the Lacerda files?
I have listened to an audio interpretation of it. That's the one when someone was talking to a being known as Lacerda.
Mm-hmm. A female reptilian.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on that?
I feel like if they did talk to one, it was saying enough to make it feel more relatable to the person. But at the same time, there's not there was still some misinformation put in there about certain things. Like they live for hundreds of years. They don't live as long as a human does.
And Red just put in chat. So then, what did she see? Was it a reptilian?
I think it was, especially if she was talking about the kind of armor it had. Because the ones I know of, they don't try to masquerade as some kind of cryptid without armor or anything. They wear armor. They wear clothing. They're not just buck naked.
Yeah, I got you. I'm looking at some. Bash, you remember the story of coming out of Carthage, Missouri, about the two guys riding the quads in the in that underground storage area?
Oh.
So these in Carthage, Missouri, I sorry I can't pronounce that shit, but
Yeah,
in
that was an
Carthage,
interesting one.
in Carthage, there's apparently a huge underground storage area down there, right? And it's been hollowed out, or whatever, and I guess the government controls it. So these two gentlemen take their quads and they start riding down there. And when they're riding down there, they come across it, like it's all like rocked and everything like that. And then they cross this little area and it starts getting like it's finished. And then they start heading down start heading down a tunnel. It's really fucking weird. They saw this reptilian creature standing there, like at the end of this tunnel. And at the beginning of this tunnel, there was a piece of like graffiti on the ground. So they're going down this tunnel, and they think they're coming up to a turn. They're going way too fast, and they think they're going to crash into the wall. What they actually do is slide through a hologram. And then on the other side of this hologram, they see this creature standing there. He's wearing like armor. It's wearing like armor and shit. And it turns and looks at them. They turn around, take off on their quads. The thing comes from behind the hologram and shoots something at one of the quads, which causes it to die. The other guy hops on his boy's quad, and they take off. This thing chases them for a while up until the point where it gets to that piece of graffiti that's on the ground, and then it stops. These two beat feet out of there, and they meet up. I think it was security, like a security guy down there or something like that. And then he called the cops, and they told him, "Yo, don't go back down there. Do never. They never recovered his quad either. The quad was still
Nope.
down there."
Oh man, do you know what? Do you remember that show that was? I'm pretty sure it was on History Channel, where they were down there digging in a mine, and they got to this one rock, and they were trying to get through the shit, but they were picking up through the rock. They were picking up like metallic voices.
I don't.
This was maybe like 10 years ago.
Are you talking about? It was like they went there to investigate like ghost hauntings and shit
Yeah,
in an old mine. Yeah, I remember that show. And when they came to this wall that looked like it had been sealed, and behind the wall they were able to get like a little hole into it, and the audio they were getting out of it sounded like metallic voices.
Interesting.
Yeah, the Carthage, Missouri story was pretty damn interesting about the guys in the quads and what possibly could have been the symbol painted on the floor that caused this thing to stop. And it's like the stories about reptilians is crazy. There's Bash, you remember the stories about the reptilians in the mall in New Orleans?
and the what?
You remember the story about
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
the officer
That was
during
on that was on Phantoms and Monsters.
yeah during Katrina? The police officer, wrote in the Phantoms and Monsters that during Katrina there was like roundups in the mall where they people were brought into these malls and they were being rounded up by like reptilian looking beings that were kind of like he said it was kind of like they were practicing like crowd control. It's really weird shit, man. Like the stuff that it's yeah. What's this? My local area has an iron mine where the upper levels dealt with a wolf-like critter that even killed a couple people by pushing people into the pit. But the lowest chamber encountered the cave demon, which I'm not sure if it's what. Hey, Destiny, can you send me an email, please? I don't want to hear about this. In fact, what? Yeah, send me an email.
Think about it, man. Out out in that area of the country, there's a whole lot of caves and mines and stuff like that that probably haven't been explored in years, if
Hmm.
ever explored.
Yeah, one thing that okay, that cave demon sounds like to me like what they call the Dover demon. I
Mhm.
I don't know what that is. It freaks me the hell out.
I
The
think
Dover Day reminds me of a tail crawler, just a smaller version.
like a adolescent pale crawler.
Yeah.
I just put it in chat. Hell yeah, I want to hear about that wolf-like creature pushing people into a pit. And
That almost sounds like some like the
I
the wolf thing is trying to keep the thing in the bottom of the cave down there by putting people into it, like saying I'm the lesser of two evils right now.
could be. All right, Charlie, take it easy, man. Thank you for coming. Thank you for stopping by. Yeah, the reptilian shapeshifter shit. That I think that shit is
Well,
it's interesting. What happened?
I got another conspiracy for you. Did you ever talk to Berger about when he used to work at the one agency? How he worked with this woman, who her and husband used to go out to the mid
Oh yeah, they used to go like
area or something like
hiking and
that.
cave hiking of splunking and shit like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. where they had an old map that like gave them cave systems like that, and they followed this map and it took them up to a cave where there was a whole, well, yeah, you could call it a cave where there was a whole bunch of military equipment. Then they went back the following year and they stopped at this gas station, and they still had the map, but they grabbed a new one, and the gas station attendant was like, "That's an old map. You probably shouldn't use that." So they went up to the area following the old map, and everything was basically
Sealed
caved
off.
off, fenced off, and sealed off.
Yeah, it was filled with like all kinds of military armament, guns,
Mm.
ammunition, explosives, armored personnel carriers, and they were like, they thought they had really messed up finding this, so they backed out and like didn't say anything. But then it's like, you know what, let me go back up there, and sure enough, that shit was blocked off, barricaded.
All right. And speaking of Burger, I have an idea. I know he's not listening, but I have an idea. So he's so hard at doing this cousin camping fishing trip or whatever. I told him, all right, I'll do it at the end of the summer. Now, what I didn't tell him is that I'm going to be asking him a whole bunch of questions about what he remembers, and I'm going to be recording it.
Mm.
Well, if he listens to the show, he knows now.
Hey, he don't listen, man. He don't watch nothing on YouTube.
No, because he's always getting banned on Facebook.
Mm-hmm. Every other week, he has to serve a suspension.
Like, yeah, why am I'm suspended from posting in groups? I don't even post. I don't even post in groups. Whatever. Where was that? Seems like 27 pounds. So,
See, looking at these damn things, man.
so
I wish Fault was on here right now so he could talk about when he gave that thing the room temperature challenge, and he'd be able to look at these photos and tell, like, all right, no, it wasn't that one. It wasn't that one. It looked like that. You know what I'm saying?
huh.
Yeah, I did go and ask my buddies about, hey, was that any of you guys or any factions that you know? They said no.
Mm.
Blue Cruise. So, yeah, Destiny. Where the hell do you live at, Destiny? And why would you be going into abandoned caves and mines? See, you down there looking for Pennywise, ain't you? Yeah, that's what you're doing.
He'll float down here.
They all float, Joey. Float story is on the second episode of the Infernal Ones. Which Infernal Ones, everybody, that's Chaos and Vault. Good shit. That some of my favorite content in those shows. Go listen to them. The Infernal Ones.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Like I was listening to that, like, man, that's fucking crazy. And that was, I'm pretty sure he said that was out in Mississippi.
See. Now. Thank you, Destiny. Because now I'm about to go digging. What is it? What you say it was? Cranberry Iron.
Oh, could that be an offshoot of the Mammoth Caves?
Shell, to answer that question, he might be having a previous life or past life regression in his dreams.
See, that just does not look appealing to me. Going in an area like that, just ask for trouble. There's shit hiding. There's got to be shit hiding in there. Look at that. This old time portrait.
See, and I have a theory for you. I believe a lot of these old mining towns and stuff like that, like yeah, they did go bankrupt and whatnot, but I believe that some of these areas they actually found and went down in these caves and seen some wild, crazy shit that they wasn't expecting to see.
So let's see. Um,
Like cave drawings in a mine in West Virginia,
Hmm.
or giant bones in a mine in Tennessee. Other otherworldly stuff seen with dust on it down in caves and tunnels in New Mexico.
you ever see that movie Descent? The
Oh yeah,
Descent.
yeah.
Yeah,
Not. I'm just saying. I think that's a high possibility. Shit like that down there. Shit like that's lurking down there.
well, absolutely. Sean tells a story about when his brother was down there spelunking. He found basically an underground lake, like a
Mm-mm.
beautiful clear water lake.
He didn't get in it, did he?
I don't know. I'm not too sure. I think Sean said he has the photos. I'm not too sure if he's ever posted them. But yeah, he talked about it. I remember that. So I was interested. Like he went underground and found a full lake, and this is down in his area. Crystal clear water, all that stuff. Destin Campbell is North Carolina.
The one near Elk Park, North Carolina. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna dive into. I'm off today. Well, yeah, technically it is today. I'm gonna look into this a little bit. Oh, did the scent scare you? Yeah, that shit was creepy. Like, exactly. Imagine being stuck in a cave and your lights go out and you start hearing shit like.
Oh, there you go. Blue Cruise. That's exactly what we're talking about.
Yep, go read that one. You will enjoy it.
And while you're on that site, go check out the Reptilians in New Orleans.
Yep, you
It's
can.
up there.
Yeah, you'll find that one. You'll find that article up there too.
I can only really say that New Orleans is a very popular place to the other side.
Oh yeah, that's like a spiritual melting pot.
Hmm.
And you get a little bit of everything down there, man.
My boss from
I,
my second job is down there right now. I actually told her, yo, keep your eye out for anything weird. Like keep your camera handy. Keep your eye out for anything weird. She's
you
like, what do
should
you
have
mean?
told her.
She's like, what do you mean weird? Bigfoot? I'm like, no, you're not gonna find Bigfoot in the middle of New Orleans. I'm talking more like vampires,
Shadow
shadow people,
figures.
shadow figures,
You
weird
should,
shit.
you should have told her to go on a swamp tour.
No, no, because she was going with her brother, who's handicapped.
Oh, you can't. All right, never mind.
Yeah,
Absolutely not. Well, yeah, keep on the lookout for shadow figures. Just walking into somewhere feeling a strange energy
yeah.
because more than likely there's something around you.
So if you haven't
I
heard,
would
man,
love to go to Louisiana.
if you didn't hear, there's tons of reports that there's a USO base between the coast of Florida and Puerto Rico.
Yeah, that would be where
That's supposedly where
the Bermuda
Atlantis was, right?
Triangle is. Huh?
No, the Bermuda Triangle. Oh
Yeah,
yeah, they're
that's roughly where the Bermuda Triangle would be. It's
off the coast of Florida, between there and Puerto Rico. There's a supposed
I know exactly what you're talking about because they on the show UFO Hunters they actually did an episode about that. That was like the last season they were on though.
Yep, right. Deep undersea secret base. Yep. And I think there's one off Catalina Island too.
Mm-hmm. There's one down there in the Gulf of Mexico.
Like the USO topic
And,
is crazy.
and there's one I've seen reports. I'm not too sure how much I believe it, but do you remember years ago seeing the thing about the UFO crash in the Baltic Sea, Baltic Ocean?
The Baltic Sea.
Yeah, the Baltic Ocean.
The Baltic Sea anomaly.
Yes, that.
It supposedly looked like the Millennium Falcon had landed in the bottom of the Baltic Sea.
Mm-hmm.
Let me bring that up. Do.
See, and like we're touching on different topics, but there's so much other stuff that falls under the umbrella of conspiracy theory.
Mm-hmm.
Like we haven't even talked about like the political stuff or anything like that. We're just talking somewhat fringe stuff. Because I personally I don't believe that UFOs or anything like that can no longer be considered fringe. It's a fact. We recovered them. People have experienced stuff, so. But it's still a very interesting topic.
So yeah, this is the Baltic Sea anomaly. Third picture in from the left. That's like the supposed radar or sonar or whatever they use to scan the bottom of the ocean.
Mm. And the one right underneath that looks pretty good too. Yep, that one right there.
Now it makes you wonder. Now, is this was this some kind of just maybe a structure or like I don't know, like a structure, or was it actual a crashed craft? I don't know.
I got nothing.
No, I was just saying that as like a blanket statement. Like this it's really, really intriguing that this something that shaped is sitting at the bottom of the ocean with the Baltic Sea. And
one conspiracy I want to like talk about, just really, just a quick left field here, is if James Cameron, he's always out in the oceans between making movies. Is he making these movies to fund a potential expedition to find the lost city of Atlantis?
He's gonna need a lot more money than he's making.
that could potentially be a thing.
Dude,
Or
all right, bet. Hear me out on this, right? Hear me out on this. I love doing movie comparisons. Now, this object that you see, has anybody ever seen The Predator 2 when they're in Los Angeles and Danny Glover goes underneath the city basically and he ends up in a UFO?
Yes.
That looks like that UFO.
I'm actually looking at the that image that is on the bottom of the screen right now, second to the left, it looks like the half crescent, like not the part with the crescent shapes, but I guess the main rounded part looks like that was supposed to be the front of whatever it was, and almost looks like it was dragged across the surface of the ocean.
Or maybe just hit so hard that it just dug in.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's wild to say. I love being able to say and be like, yo, what is that? It looks weird. Could it be weird? Could it be an alien craft, or could it just be a formation of rocks at the bottom of the ocean that just looks weird?
Dude, thinking about conspiracies is an exercise in the brain.
Like, what if this is a crashed ship at the bottom of this damn thing?
Oh,
What if that's what if that is some old world human technology?
that is also a possibility. Oh, and you know what conspiracy theory we haven't touched yet? Antarctica.
You know what? It's no, we'll touch it. We'll touch Antarctica at a different time. But we've been going for like 2.5 hours. Yep. So I think we're gonna shut this one down. Thank you guys for joining us on the late show with Bass, Truth, and Roth. Greatly appreciated.
Yep. Well, I was in earlier. Thank you all for joining in.
Yep. Thank you guys. Thank you all for hopping in with us. And
Thank you, Roth.
Thank you.
Roth. It's always like great to have you on panel, man.
I'm always happy to be on. I'm here to help give people some help and give some people some helpful trail markers.
Yes. All right, guys. So
You're damn good at what you do, man.
all right, guys. So we will see you guys later. Thank you again for joining us. This has been an Impromptu Truth with Bass and Truth, and see you guys on the next one.